Exactly. Yes, hi. Testing, testing.
Testing, testing.
My turn? Hello, hello, test.
Hello, can you hear me? Hi, Mel.
Yes.
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 Okay, great. Yeah, good morning, everybody. We'll get started in just a couple of minutes. I actually need to walk over to see the screen. I can't see the screen, so I can't see who our guests are. But we'll get started in just a couple of minutes. We know some folks are still trying to log in, but we want to welcome you. And we will ask you to mute yourself once we get started with the presentation. For right now, you have a minute and a half to socialize a little bit, and then we'll ask you to mute yourself. But thank you so much for being here with us.
Buenos días, César.
Did you unmute?
Buenos días.
Okay.
Morning, everyone.
My second meeting of the morning. Hola, Manuel.
Hola. Buenos días.
Buenos días, buenos días.
Did you turn on your picture?
Ujú. Hello, Carol.
Morning, Manuel. How are you?
Morning.
Good morning.
Good.
Wow, we got 68 people on here.
I think you're going to get a lot.
70 now.
Good morning, everyone. I want to welcome you officially to our 2021 State of the College. Typically, we would get together, as you know, in December for our President's Circle and our donor event. Unfortunately, this year we could not do it, but we are anxious to get a chance to see you, and we will at least get to do that through video. I heard some of you socializing, and we're so grateful that you're all here with us. We don't take any of you for granted. We're very grateful that you're part of the Hartnell College family. Thank you for all your support. I want to acknowledge the two main speakers today will be Dr. Rodriguez, who will be leading the State of the College, and then our President of the Board of Trustees and long-term board member, Erica Padilla-Chavez. Our format today will be in a couple of ways. Dr. Rodriguez, like I said, will lead us with the State of the College. You'll have opportunity to ask him questions, but we really felt that it was important to bring you the perspective directly from the heart of our mission, which is our students. So you will hear a little bit from the students. We will have a student panel, and then you will also get a chance to see a virtual tour of our progress of our Measure T bond. So we are pleased to bring you that today. Again, I want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts that you're here with us. Thank you for spending a little bit of your morning with us today. And so without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our President of the Board of Trustees, Erica Padilla-Chavez.
Well, very good morning to everyone. And again, thank you so much for making time to join us this morning. I'm really excited to be with you all this morning. I'd prefer it be in person, but this will do for now. I'd like to introduce our board members. As you may recall, we had elections in November, and that resulted in us having new additions to our board. And so I'd like to, on your screen, you'll see our Board of Trustees, Candy DePaul, who's been a longtime board member. And we have our new board member, Alejandra Gonzalez, who's representing the North County region. Aurelio Salazar, who is not new to our board, but has been with us for at least a term, got reelected this last time around. So Aurelio is still with us. Margaret Diorigo, so many of you probably know Margaret. She's been very involved in our college. She is now a member of our Board of Trustees. A longtime board member, Ray Montemayor, is still with us here as a board member. And Irma Lopez got reelected to serve another term for our college. And then of course, we have our wonderful student trustee. This is a trustee that gets elected by their peers here at the college, and Michael Castro is serving that role at this moment. So thank you, colleagues, for those of you who were able to join us. Thank you for making time to join us. And it's an honor for me to be working with these wonderful, committed individuals, volunteers of our community who are very much joining forces this year to make students our priority. We know we've been very busy with COVID, and I want to thank the leadership of the college, the faculty, the staff, for their attentive energy and trying to work with the conditions that we all have to work with. We have heard from students, and we know students are in need of yet more support. So this year, the board is committed to making students front and center in all of our discussions and everything we do. I would like to also acknowledge that as a college community, we recognize that we're living in a rather interesting time, not just because of the pandemic, but we know at the national and local level, there's public discourse. And what you should all be very proud of is the fact that at this college, at your college, we're committed to creating the next generation of leaders, not just for our local community, but for the nation. And we do that by providing our students the opportunity to engage in diplomatic and critical thinking conversations and thought-provoking conversations. And obviously, we're contributing to the fabric of our community by engaging new leaders and educated leaders that can engage in diplomatic discourse. And then finally, I just want to say that the board and the college as a whole is very fortunate to have with us Dr. Raul Rodriguez as our interim superintendent president for the college. As you all may recall, the board extended his tenure with our college. We're very glad that we were able to do that. He has been instrumental, not just in helping us navigate these rather difficult and challenging times, but more importantly, has been effectively re-engaging our college community and ensuring that everything we do is about impact, positive impact for our students. So Dr. Rodriguez, thank you so much for your leadership.
Thank you, Erica. Good morning, everyone. Appreciate you joining us today. As Jackie said, this is a state of the college, but I would actually say it's a mini state of the college because we can't cover everything in the time that we have today, and we want to be respectful of your time. So let's get into the slideshow, if you will. So here we are, 9 months into COVID, and it's been a struggle for all of us. We know that, but you know, when times are tough, people rise up to the challenge. And so one of the things that we did is we developed this award, the Strength and Resilience Award, and we selected 9 students and staff that we gave this award to at the start of the semester last week. And so this award is something new, and we selected 2 students, 3 classified staff, 3 faculty, and 1 manager for this award. And so it was great to give that award to our students and our staff. And each one got a certificate as well as a brick that we're going to put outside of the library in honor of them. So I think that was a great way to start our semester. And one of the folks who we selected for this award, Melissa Martinez, is a student. And she's a student who's had a particular struggle. She herself contracted COVID-19. She has 2 young sons. And in addition to her going to school, she's had her sons at home and doing their schoolwork remotely. And it's been a challenge. She's typical of our students, what they've had to face in this COVID-19 challenge. And she has responded remarkably, and she's in the respiratory care program. She's continuing to make progress towards her degree. And so kudos to Melissa for being a Strength and Resilience awardee. We are focused on student success here at Hartnell. And with money gathered from the foundation, as well as money that we received from the federal government, we've been able to provide certain assistance to our students. And in this slide that you see here, we're distributing STEM lab kits to our students. So these lab kits are very expensive, and students needed access to them. And a lot of them didn't have the money to get the lab kits. So we gave them out to our students so they could be successful in their classes and continue their progress. So thank you to our foundation members for their help. In addition to that, we've also distributed more than 800 laptops to students, more than 500 mobile hotspots, and we've given 126 emergency assistance grants to students that were $500 each. So I think that's gives an idea of the commitment that Hartnell has to helping our students in the community. In addition to that, we have also put internet service in our parking lots here at the main campus at Alisal, also at King City. We heard from many of our students that they didn't have internet at home. And so this was a way to get them, if they had a car, they could drive to one of our sites where we had the internet, and they could park and they could do their homework. And sometimes that's the only way they could get it done. So we were glad we could help with that. Another issue we've been dealing with is food insecurity, and we've continued to have what we call the pop-up pantry. So every other Friday, we have a food distribution here on the main campus. And we serve, more than 180 students every time we give that distribution. But we've heard from our students that that's not enough. And so we're going to try to expand that. And we heard particularly from our students from South County that they need this food service as well. So we're going to try to accommodate that need and expand it to South County. Our students are continuing to struggle, and there's that digital divide we always talk about. And so we're doing our best to address those issues and try to get the technology to our students. We are preparing to return to campus, and we've been doing some things to prepare for that. We've been working very hard on a pandemic response plan, and we have, I think, a very comprehensive plan in place now. And it's not a finished plan. I don't know that in the foreseeable future, we're going to say it's completely done, because things are changing. We have to amend it and add more information and make some changes to it as we get new information. So it's not a plan that it's really just you're done and you put it on the shelf. It's something that we need to use and revise constantly based on information and conditions that are changing. And so, but we've heard from our students that they didn't have a place to study. So we decided to open a study hall here on campus in our main gym. And we did that at the end of last semester. And we're going to continue that this semester here on the main campus. And it'll be opening, the tentative date is February 16th, that we hope to have that open to provide that service to our students. And we're trying to respond to our students in the virtual environment as well. So we have a virtual help desk that students can get on and ask questions and get the answers and get directed to the right place. And we also have appointments they can make through Zoom, online. And we're hoping to offer soon person-to-person appointments. So if students can't get what they want through the phone or through the internet, they will have an opportunity to come to campus and take care of the business that they need with a one-on-one with a staff member. So we're trying to respond as best we can to this full range of needs that our students have. COVID testing. So we have served as a site for COVID testing for the county on a couple of occasions, and hopefully we can continue to do that. But what we're really focused on right now is the vaccination process. I was in a meeting yesterday with two of our local mayors and our county superintendent of schools, and one of them shared that at the current pace of vaccination here in Monterey County, that we wouldn't finish doing the vaccinations until 2023 at the current pace that we're doing them. That's not acceptable. Obviously, we're all worried about this. And as you saw, if you looked at the news this morning, Blue Shield is going to do the vaccine distribution for California because it's just not going very well so far. So hopefully they can ramp it up and we can get going much quicker with the vaccination. And that really is a key for what's going to happen in the future. Are we going to be able to come back to face-to-face in the summer, in the fall? A lot of that hinges on how we're going to deal with these vaccinations and how many people get vaccinated here in Monterey County. So we don't have any conclusive answers yet, but we're still struggling with these issues and trying to deal with them as best we can. You're looking at the picture of our STEM center and COVID testing. And so I just want to say one last thing, that when we did have the testing here, we drew a great audience. I think we had over 500 people come and do this. So I'm glad we could offer that service. In terms of enrollment and budget, you know, across the state and across the nation, actually, community college enrollments have been down. And so we're no different at Hartnell, except that we haven't been down as much as many of our sister colleges in the state and in our region. So we think one of the reasons why we've been able to weather the storm a little bit better is our Salinas Valley Promise program. And so one of the requirements for that program is that students actually have to be full-time students. And so we've lost headcount enrollment, but we've actually gone up in the number of units students are taking, or stayed the same in some cases, because we believe the answer is the Salinas Valley Promise program that really has kind of saved our bacon, if you will, that kind of insulated us from the enrollment losses that other colleges have had. So it doesn't mean we're exactly where we'd like to be. The fall we were down a little bit, probably 5 to 6%. But this semester we're doing even better than that. And right now we're probably down 4% or something like that. And we might actually end up flat or maybe a little better than we thought. So that's good news for Hartnell, and shows that there's been a real response to that Salinas Valley Promise program. So we want to talk a little bit about the impact of the Salinas Valley Promise program. So you can see that our enrollment in local high schools has increased by 3%. We have about 1,000 students in the Promise program. And so at the same time, that the students enrolled full-time from our local high schools has gone up dramatically. So you know, this is good news and shows that we're right on target with this program and doing what we need to do. But it's more than just about enrollments and about how many students are taking this program. You know, it's really about success. And so, you know, looking at this slide, you can see that how many students are full-time, and the full-time first-time students. And what you're seeing is that the success rate in the students who are taking the Salinas Valley Promise program is higher than the students who are just coming to college and not in that program. So that's the kind of results you want to see. It means the program is succeeding and doing what it's supposed to do. So next slide. We are going to show you a little video now about our Measure T bond program and show you some of the things that are happening with that program. Then I'll talk about a few things after the video.
In 2016, voters in the Hartnell Community College District approved Measure T, $167 million in bonds for new construction and modernization of college facilities. 6 projects are now completed or under construction. New tiered landscaping for the Central Plaza creates a university-like focus for the main campus and will provide an ideal new setting for campus and community events. Buildings D and E, which hold the majority of Hartnell's classrooms and computer labs, are being completely modernized, starting with Building D. The plaza includes a dining and study area just outside Building D. The second and third floors of Building D have been completely remodeled with enlarged, flexible, and interactive classrooms and an expanded computer lab. This new computer lab will feature computers that pop up from the desks or can be concealed for lectures. A new exterior elevator will provide much improved access to the Building D and E catwalk. The Center for Nursing and Health Sciences adjoins the heart of campus. The 2-story, 24,000 square foot building will be a state-of-the-art home for Hartnell's healthcare programs when it opens in fall 2021. A 12,500 square foot expansion is doubling the size of the King City Education Center, which originally opened in 2002 in downtown King City. All 3 centers will feature a community room for community meetings and events, which doubles as a classroom. 2 smart technology classrooms on the first level offer highly interactive and adaptable learning spaces. Dry and wet STEM labs are a strategic addition to the existing building. The labs will allow the center to offer courses needed for majors in engineering, computer science, agriculture, and the hard sciences. The 16,750 square foot Soledad Education Center has a welcoming reception area immediately adjacent to its community room. The center has 4 classrooms, all featuring smart technology, with flexible seating for both lectures and small group learning. This faculty room will provide a comfortable workspace for instructors. This adjacent Student Success Center, also a feature of all 3 education centers, will be home to tutoring services and offer space for group study. Doors open onto a spacious courtyard and walkway along the south side of the building. These rooftop solar panels are expected to meet half of the building's electricity needs. All 3 of the education center projects have solar generating capacity. Construction began this fall on the Castroville Education Center along Merritt Street, just east of Highway 1. The 13,750 square foot Castroville Center is expected to open in spring 2022. Like the King City and Soledad centers, it will also feature a community room, student success center, faculty room, 2 interactive classrooms, and wet and dry STEM labs for a variety of academic programs.
I hope you enjoyed the video. You know, one of the questions I'm asked frequently is, when is the Soledad Center going to open, as well as the King City? And so really the answer to that is we don't know for sure. It's when we're able to go back to having face-to-face classes again. And hopefully that will be sooner rather than later, but we don't have a definitive time. But we are working on some other projects, like I mentioned the study hall, and we hope to do something like that in King City and Soledad in the near future. So we might open partially, you know, if we're able to, but you know, we're trying our best to do that. We also want to shout out to former trustee Manuel Osorio, and we broke ground on the Castroville Center last fall, and we finished the foundation for that building, and so it's going to start going rapidly after that, and looking forward to seeing that completed Castroville Center by next fall. Let's see. You see here on this slide, fulfilling the vision, Marlene Martinez, who was a student speaker from Soledad, who spoke last fall when we had a little event there at the Soledad Center, had a walkthrough with some of our donors and to show them what the center was like. And we really appreciate the support from our community. And that center is beautiful. I hope you enjoyed the photos of it. We really get a thrill looking at it. It's a state-of-the-art facility, and I can't wait till it's open. The next slide, yeah. So this is another wonderful building that's going to be open in the near future, the Center for Nursing and Health Sciences. And just as an aside, I don't know if you heard the news or not, but an independent agency that rates nursing programs selected Hartnell College's nursing program as the #1 nursing program in the Western United States. And so we're so proud of that program, and it's really based on their outcomes data. And so the pass rate for the NCLEX exam and the success they've had with their students. So kudos to our nursing program, #1 in the West. So they're gonna have their own building, and I'm sure they're gonna soar even higher when they have this new facility and able to do many more things than they're able to do now. So one of the sponsors of that building to help us with that is Salinas Valley Memorial Healthcare System, and they're a great partner, and they are assisting us with this building and one of the sponsors for it. So thank you to them. We are continuing to do planning for the next phase of Measure T. There's going to be some renovation of some of our buildings here on the main campus, and we're going to also add a facility to the Alsall campus, a Career and Technical Education Center at that campus. So looking forward to those additions as well. So here's the slide about the CTE, the Career Technical Education Building. And so we've continued to actually have internships for this program in spite of COVID-19. Internships are vital to the success of our students. And Hartnell has one of the best internship programs I've ever seen at any college. And so to be able to continue doing these internships during this pandemic was, I think, really crucial in helping our students to progress. And so kudos to everyone who's been involved in that. In addition to that, we have met or exceeded our goals for degrees and certificates at our Ag Institute. And we're also, our Career and Prep and Placement Center is really one of our strengths at that site, and they do a tremendous job in helping us to put our students out there in spite of the drawbacks of the pandemic. Pictured here is one of our students who's completed a science internship this past summer and is going on to do things above and beyond Hartnell. And so that's our goal, is to get our students out there to be success stories. The next slide. So yes, and the common thread about all this is helping our students continue to learn and continue to make progress in spite of all these obstacles and challenges. So the STEM internship program is another vital program to our academic overall program. And so we had 285 students who took part in research internships, excuse me, last year, including during the summer. Losing my voice here, so.
Catch your breath.
Yeah, need some water. We're going to show you a student panel that will give you some more background. Is that now?
The student panel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll talk a little bit about
Okay.
that.
Yeah, we should have brought some water.
Introduce the student panel.
Great, thank you. So thank you, Dr. Rodriguez. Well, that was a great, great start. We'll get you some water right now. I have the pleasure of introducing the student panel. As you know, students are the heart of everything that we do. We have a great value here, which is, and it's really our first value is students first. And you know, during the pandemic, Student Affairs and a great group of people have been doing a lot of these conversations and Zooms and podcasts and these ways to reach out to students. And one of those individuals that has been super amazing has been Gema Uribe Cruz. And so she's our moderator for the student panel. The student panel is with 5 students that are broadly representing science, technology, engineering, and math, sociology, plant science, nursing, and music. So you'll get to hear the perspective from, again, different disciplines across the campus and from our amazing students. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get that student panel started. Thank you.
My name is Jerica Dexter. I am a 4th semester RN student, so nursing program. I am a mother of 3, first generation college student, and I am looking forward to graduating this May.
I'm a civil engineering major, and I'm on my final semester, I believe. This is my 4th one. I hope to go to transfer to Fresno State.
Hi, my name is Raul Rodriguez. I prefer to go by Lupita. Spring will be my 2nd semester at Hartnell. I am Trio Club President and Senator for the ASHC, and I'm really happy to be at Hartnell.
Tatiana Magdaleno. I am a music and English major, but my main focus is definitely music. I teach at Lincoln Elementary School in an after-school program called Lincoln Musicos, where we teach the kids music. I teach ukulele. I used to teach choir and other things, but right now it's just ukulele. And I hope to someday transfer to San Jose State.
So my name is Juan Rodriguez. My major is plant science at the moment. My goal is to transfer over to like Fresno or Cal Poly, and I plan on getting my CCA and PCA license.
Since we've gone into this new online format, what challenges have you faced and how have you overcome those challenges?
This is my first experience with college, and it's just all online, so I don't really have an idea of what it could have been besides my high school experience. But just the idea of having all these factions of your life, like your social, your academic, and your home life, merge into the same room, it makes you feel disconnected from the institution, like the college itself. Not being able to walk on campus, meet new people, be in class for a live lecture makes you feel like there's nothing beyond that bedroom door. So this feeling is the worst, this surreal feeling that overcomes you when you're studying and you think, is anyone going to read what I'm writing? Are these 4 hours of studying going down the drain onto this bottomless void? So not to vent too much, but it's the worst when you're studying. And a lot that helped me were professors on Canvas who were active and gave me really avid feedback on what I was writing.
I guess the biggest challenge was going to office hours, because my sleeping schedule was stay up all night, do homework all night, and then sleep during the day.
As my classes went on, the longer we were here, the more I feel like teachers changed their course and the way that they handled certain situations. Like in class, they would give you more opportunity to ask questions, or, you know, there was a lot more resources, even for some of my classes that didn't meet on Zoom.
In the beginning, it was kind of, I did kind of struggle, but then the teachers kind of like, was like setting up, and they were kind of getting used to the whole Canvas and online stuff. So it did get better. I try to get classes with my friends, so we kind of motivated each other through our classes and stuff like that. And we kind of like Jesus did, they got into like Zoom meetings and stuff like that, and kind of like helped each other out a bit and stuff, and that for sure has helped.
So as I mentioned, I'm in the Allied Health Nursing program. So we're so lucky and thankful to our clinical partners in Salinas that we've been able to continue to go to our clinical rotations. So that's when we go to the hospitals and actually care for patients. So our dean has fought hard and worked with our partners to make sure that we can still continue that aspect of the program, which is great because a lot of other nurses that I know that go to other programs were displaced, and that postpones their graduation. So that was a huge relief that we got to continue that. Aside from that, everything else has been through distant learning. So we have learned to MacGyver a lot of things when it comes to skills. You know, practicing on our stuffed animals, or my children in my case, get a lot of the non-invasive procedures. So I guess I'm lucky I have my patients at home to do that. So our lectures, like you guys, are through Zoom, asynchronous and synchronous. And our program expectations remain the same. We were not given really any special circumstances or exceptions. We are expected to learn the same skills and theories and everything that we would normally learn in the nursing program, which has been a challenge.
Have you made use of any campus resources like the hotspot, any like technological assistance that you've received, financial aid, anything like that that's made it a little bit easier for you or more accessible to you?
Yeah, so I don't live in Salinas, so I'm unfortunately not able to use the hotspots, but a lot of my classmates have, and as well as the Chromebook distribution has been very helpful to my classmates. I was so blessed and thankful to receive a scholarship this last semester, so I was able to buy myself a laptop that doesn't have to be plugged in all the time like my previous one. So I was able to purchase this so that I could Zoom. I also do receive financial aid, which has been so great to help cover the cost of the internet so that I can make sure that not only myself, but my children have a strong internet for their distant learning as well.
I have a lot of accessibility internet-wise, but what really helped me was my financial aid because I'm practically living on my financial aid. I'm taking 15 units, so I don't really see a job right now as a first year especially. So I'm just trying to get the hang of it, and the financial aid and scholarships, the TRIO program that helps out with all of what's happening at Hartnell really feels like the aid I needed for a first semester during a pandemic.
We would help each other. I had like my little group from like previous semesters. We had our little group. We would Zoom whenever we needed to do some homework, or I would remind them we need to do this homework or we need to do this. I guess chemistry was the hardest class because it's very hard to do chemistry without a lab. So we would like meet on Zoom, say we would study on Zoom before a test or stuff like that.
But the next question is, what specific things have made your experience at Hartnell a positive one? So for example, maybe an instructor, a support service, as Lupita mentioned, you know, she's in the TRIO program, clubs, internships, any organizations that might have just facilitated this time for you as a student?
I was part of MESA. I'm vice president of the engineering and physics allied club. My micro internship was about water quality, and we tested the water quality here in Salinas. We tested the water in Natividad Creek and Upper Card Lake, and it turns out the water is very like bad there. It's like higher than the minimum. So thankfully it's fenced up and you can't really go into the water. My second one was on like a remote weather station. We were gonna put like an antenna and like sensors and put it at Hartnell, and it would tell you the weather, the humidity, right? And it would give the information and then send it to us, and then it would basically be like a weather station, right? And my final one and most recent one was we created a COVID. It was like a infrared thermometer where I guess you could put it on the wall and it would take your temperature and display it. And if you didn't have a fever, it would give you a message that you don't have a fever. You could enter and it would light up LEDs green. And I was using Arduino, and it was pretty fun to do. It was challenging, but it was good.
It's funny because I think it's just because the music classes are so small, but I I grew very close with, especially my music theory class. Like I think that's the only reason that I did so okay this past semester, is because of the fact that I had so many friends in, pretty much all of my music classes. I had at least one person in that music theory class in every music class that I was taking. And so, yeah, I don't know if it's just because I'm a little social bird who needs to talk to everybody and become friends with everybody I can. But yeah, we talk to each other a lot. We would message each other, ask each other questions on homework. That was probably my highlight of this whole thing.
What are your plans and goals for a future career after Hartnell? And how is Hartnell helping you right now to get to that point?
So end of May, I graduate with my associates in registered nursing. So after that, I need to take my state board, my NCLEX exam. So the whole program of nursing has prepared me for that moment, that big moment in my life. And once I do that, I hope to obtain a job, possibly at one of our clinical sites, SBMH or Natividad. And or any hospital in general. My goal is to do emergency medicine. So I want to work emergency room, trauma, OR, action-packed kind of areas. So once I land a job, then my next goal would be to do my BSN.
Hopefully, once I graduate, I'll probably get. I need to take a class in the summer, but I'll take that, and then I'll get my associate's degree in civil engineering. I would have liked to get my math and my physics as well, but I would need to take 2 extra classes, and I don't want to do that because I want to work in the summer or maybe do an internship. My uncle works in construction, so maybe I could talk to him or like network my way to a internship, I guess. Then transfer, maybe get my bachelor's and then get a job, get my license and then work full time. Maybe get a house or get a car, and I would be set. That would be my plan.
Definitely. Did you apply to any universities?
Yes, I applied to Cal Poly, Fresno State, San Jose State, and Chico. So hopefully I'll hear from them soon. And
Well, my goal is to get my associates in music and also English and transfer to San Jose State, so I can continue teaching. Because as I said earlier, I'm teaching at Lincoln Elementary School, but I want to eventually be able to teach a higher level than elementary school. And I want it to be like a full-time job for me, but there isn't always place for a music teacher, which is why I just love teaching. So, which is why I'm also studying English, because I also have a love for writing. So, and for a little while, and when this first started, it felt like, what's going to happen with music now? With everything being closed down, I didn't really see how that would be possible. But Sandy Rudo, she's just amazing, absolutely fantastic, and she somehow managed to get us all to do it, to pull through and record ourselves singing and edit it into amazing little video of all the choirs singing together. And then she did a live YouTube of that, a live YouTube stream of the whole performance. It was amazing. I loved that.
I want to get my PCA license over at hopefully Fresno. And after I graduate from Fresno, I can come back and work where I'm working now, or I could stay with Nutrien, or I want to work at a grower company with hopefully Lakeside Organics or maybe True Organics or something like that, and work my way up to my CCA license. And
so I'm planning to get my bachelor's in sociology at UC Berkeley. Then I want to go to grad school for a psychology program in CSUMB to become a school psychologist, just so I have some diversity, sociology, and psychology.
Thank you guys for your time. Thank you guys for your energy. Thank you guys for everything that that you guys shared with us, positives, negatives. We learned from both, and we just appreciate your time. And I congratulate those of you guys who are like super close to graduation. And for those of you guys who have a little bit more time, I hope that we go back to in-person learning soon, so that you guys can experience that college experience as well. And maybe I'll get a chance to meet some of you guys in person as well. But thank you guys for joining us. And I hope that you guys have a very successful spring 2021 semester.
Welcome back. I think I have my voice back. So this is the time we wanted to open up and share with you any questions you might have. So feel free to unmute yourself and ask us a question if there's something that you want to comment on or ask us about. Please go ahead. I see Seth started waving his hand.
Yes. I just have a comment. I don't have a question, but I have a comment. You know what Hartnell College is doing is just wonderful. I went to a city college down south when I got out of the Air Force way back when, and they didn't have such, a diversity in programs. However, we did what we could. But this is just wonderful. The opportunities for our community to get up and rise, get educated. I mean, you are providing all those tools, and I want to commend you on that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tessa.
Yeah, and for those of you that don't know me, I'm from San Juan Bautista. I'm currently the vice mayor, and I'm also one of the original members of Teatro Campesino. And worked with Hartnell, with the Western States, for about 12 years. I know Melissa can tell you.
Thank you for all
Awesome,
your partnership.
Cesar. You're awesome.
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy.
Ask your questions.
Did it freeze?
It freeze?
Well,
Dr. Rodriguez, this is Al Munoz.
Hi, Al.
Hi. Can you bring up relating to what your projections are for student enrollment for the next fiscal year? And in relation to the current fiscal year?
Yeah. So, looking at trend data across the community colleges, like I said, the enrollments continue to decline, not only nationally, but here in California and across our state in our regional areas. We're kind of an anomaly compared to that. We don't expect to have a huge plunge in enrollment. And we've heard anecdotally that some of our students have stopped out, if you will, because of COVID-19. So once we get back to face-to-face, we hope that all those students will come back, and that'll boost our enrollment. So, but I think the Salinas Valley Promise program is continuing to grow. I think some of the other things we're trying to get going will aid our enrollment. So I think we have really a very robust outlook for Hartnell for the future. We're one of the few areas in California where the high school population is still growing. In most every other part of the state, there's a decline in the high school age population. Here in Monterey County, it's still growing in Hartnell's service area. So we kind of are different than everybody else, and different in a good way. So yeah, I think we're going to have robust enrollments going forward.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Val.
Hi, this is Emmett Linder. I have a question, but I don't know how to raise my hand over here. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
You're good.
Doctor, beforehand, I mean, a couple of leaders ago, Dr. Llewellyn, he put a tremendous amount of focus on agriculture and really helped the ag program along. And then the next person, Patricia, that was much less attention to ag. I just kind of want to get your feeling as how you think the program is going. And because my fear is that if you lose momentum, then you're kind of, then that's so I just want to hear your comments.
That's a really good point. It's tough in this pandemic to maintain momentum. We're trying as best we can, but I don't doubt that we probably lost a little bit of momentum, but hopefully we can gain that again and move forward with full speed. The ag program is critical to Hartnell. We have such a great partnership with the ag industry and with our council that we have that oversees the ag center. We have so many business leaders who have contributed a lot to Hartnell and given us great advice with our ag program. So we want to maintain those relationships. We want to maintain moving this program forward. And so I don't see a diminished emphasis on ag. I see us continuing that emphasis and that priority for our ag program, because that's really the biggest industry we have in our service area. So we can't afford not to pay attention to that area and to try to cultivate it and grow it, no pun intended.
Mhm.
Yep. Well, great. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Sure.
And Emmett, this is Erica, and I would add that if the agricultural partners have suggestions or ideas of how we need to be looking at the program and shifting and morphing, that's what that committee is for. But you know, if we need additional flows of communication, it's all about just talking to Dr. Rodriguez. And I can just assure you that the board, we have to not deny the fact that we live in an industry where agriculture is a backbone of our economy. We need the partnership. We need to foster that program and have it grow, but we also need to shift and pivot as needed. And that's why you as industry leaders are so important to this work. So please do reach out and let us know if we need to improve in any area, because we do want to hear from you.
And thank you, Emmett, for your personal leadership on that ag steering since the inception. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. And that's, anyway, we don't want to take any steps backwards. And I know you're not. I just wanted to throw it out there so people can hear that. You know,
Put some, you got it. Put us on the spot.
And we haven't been able to do some of the events we normally do, that hopefully we can pick those up in the future that really, shine, put the ag program like on the spotlight. So hopefully we can pick that up when the pandemic is over.
Hi, Betsy Buckhalter Adler here. As a new board member, this is absolutely thrilling. I'm so glad to be part of this endeavor. I'm curious about what you think it is about the Salinas Valley Promise that has made it so successful. And if we can identify what those things are is it possible at some point to expand that to students who are not currently benefiting from it?
Great question. I think Jackie would probably be the best person to respond to that question.
Thank you, Betsy, for that question. And thank you for your huge leadership and support of the Teacher Pathway Program. I had shared with Dr. Rodriguez about how influential you have been in making sure that that program actually got launched. So thank you for that and your vision. So the Salinas Valley Promise Program has several components that I think are not part of a traditional college system. One of them has to do with working with the student and the affective domain, not the effective domain, but the affective domain. And that has a lot to do with helping the student build their social capital and their confidence and the ability to really know their inner strengths, their inner resilience, and recognize that. So it's a combination of academic and non-academic resilience built into it. And I think that model we learned from WELI, from the WELI program, where we really, and the MILE program, where it was really designed to combine both, the strength of both, plus the mentorship part. That is critical. So the Promise, the WELI, the MILE, those, we call them social cohort programs. They have this component of them that includes, again, the networking, communication skills, time management, leadership, even budget management, relationships, all this stuff that really, I think, helps the student build up their confidence when they start. And in terms of what we can do to scale that, so we scaled the program. We started with, 2 cohorts, 25 students with Welly Mile, then tried it with, I think last time was 500 students and now 1,000 students. So what's beautiful and fascinating is that when we grew to 500, when we got the data back, meant that this could scale. And so now it's very promising to figure out what other populations we may be able to do cohort programs like that, such as our adult population or are out of school, or maybe, the one that stopped out because they had family or just, had to do their life, took place. And so anyway, very exciting about that. And we will be looking at what other kind of programs, cohort programs we could launch. And I'll take this opportunity to say that without the staff that have been working so hard on it, Bronwyn Moreno and China Obana, this program wouldn't be what it is. So, and for the funders as well. Thank you, Betsy.
Thank you, Jackie.
Any other questions?
That was a long, that's it?
If none, maybe it's time to move on to the next part of the presentation, if we could. So we want to spotlight our Hartnell College Foundation board members. Without our board members, we wouldn't be anywhere. They're the engine behind our Hartnell College Foundation. And they give their, I've been here since last summer, and I can tell you, I've worked with this foundation board, and they give their time, their energy, their resources, and they really make this foundation go. And this is one of the reasons why we've been benchmarking our foundation with other successful foundations across the country. And we find out we're not taking a backseat to anyone. This is a great foundation, and we're moving forward. And so thank you to Judy Solsona, who's our president, and all of the other members of the Hartnell College Foundation Board of Directors. Also, we want to introduce our newest foundation board members. We have 5 new members who are coming on board with the Hartnell College Foundation. So if we could go to the next slide, please.
Oh, they're on there.
Oh, they're on there? Okay. So we have Betsy Buchalter Adler, who just spoke. Thank you for joining, Betsy. Kathy Alameda, Elsa Jimenez, Renee Mendez, and Jennifer Williams. These are the 5 new members of the Hartnell College Foundation. So welcome aboard. It's good to have all of you. Before we go any further, I just want to take a moment to pause and honor Andy Matsui, who is someone who is very near and dear to Hartnell College and to our community. As we all know, he was a floral entrepreneur who was a very visionary person, and his passing on December 12th was a sad occasion, and we continued to mourn his loss. In 2013, Andy and his wife, Mary, began providing full ride scholarships to students at Hartnell College in the CS3 program, which was a program that allows students to get a bachelor's degree in computer science in 3 years. It's really an amazing program, and Andy supported that program wholeheartedly. This scholarship has continued, and Andy, I think, his heart was so big that he gave Hartnell a donation of 250 acres of land that's probably worth at least $20 million, and we'll forever be indebted for that generous donation to the college. And that was one of the largest gifts to any community college in the United States. So Andy's legacy will live on, and he has an impact on the local students that is immeasurable. So thank you to Andy Matsui for all of his wonderful work with our community and the Hartnell College Foundation. So let's look at the foundation giving, if we could. And so you see there the total gifts that have come in and the total giving. And I think these are impressive totals. So we have 2,843 total gifts. And the amount of the total giving was $5.9 million. So that was a record year, and just has an incredible impact on our students and in our community. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to our foundation. I'm sorry, these are the recognition of our donors for some of the various activities. So we want to pay tribute to them and thank them for their generosity, their thoughtfulness, their kindness in supporting Hartnell College. So again, accolades to everyone on this list. Thank you so much for your support. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Jackie, our Executive Director of the Foundation and our Vice President of Advancement and Development.
Thank you, Dr. Rodriguez. So I'll just mention these slides are here to talk a little bit more about what the funds do, the funds that you so generously give to the foundation. So the previous slide actually recognized the lead donors for Soledad, King City, Castroville, and the Nursing and Health Science Center. And this one here talks about where the $5.9 million is going to this past year. So happy to report that, we're about a little bit more than halfway of our campaign for the centers. And that's, again, thanks to the lead donors. We're really excited about that. They're providing 5 years of operational funding for both the centers and also the SVMH Nursing and Healthcare Center. And the other programs that are funded here, you'll see, I'm not going to run through the list, but the impact is so broad to Hartnell. And the number of students we're benefiting this last year, we almost hit the $1 million mark in scholarships, which has been one of our goals. So we're excited. I hope this year we're able to beat that $1 million mark. But aside from that, we're able to give back close to $4 million almost on an annual basis now to Hartnell College itself for programs and services. And so we want to stay on that track and want to keep supporting our amazing and beloved college. We know for generations to come, it'll continue to transform lives. So that's all I want to say on that. And thanks to each and every one of you. I want to, I know we have the risk of running a little bit late, but because there was a question from our former superintendent, Willard Llewellyn, we're going to go ahead and honor his question. Will, would you like to come on mic and ask the question for Dr. Rodriguez?
Good morning, Dr. Rodriguez. How are you doing?
Fine. How are you, Willard?
Good. Actually, no question. Actually, I just wanted to commend you and the board and everybody at Hartnell for all the great work that you're all doing. It's very inspiring, and hearing directly from the students is always so important. And so really no question, just wanted to say great work, and makes me very proud. Thank you.
Great to see you. Thank you for your kind words, and we'll have lunch soon.
Yes, yeah, I look forward to it. Absolutely.
Okay, great.
Thank you so much. So our words to wrap up are thank you for having spent this morning with us. Willard, thank you for your legacy. As always, we'll continue to work with you. And thanks to each and every one of you for being part of the Hartnell family. And Salinas Valley strong. Let's keep going. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you.